So, is the reason you didn't get me a coffee this week is because I didn't get your coffee last week?
To be fair, I didn't have enough time to get myself a coffee. And out of the two of us, you're the only one with a cup of coffee on the table. So
this is 2-day-old stale coffee.
It's better than no coffee.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So much for you being chivalrous.
I don't need to be chivalrous. It's 2020, bitch.
Exactly, bitch. It is 2020. So the whole male and female archetypes and stereotypes are out the goddamn window. You're lucky I don't Me Too your ass.
On what basis would you Me Too me?
What's so funny?
On what basis would you Me Too me?
You Me Too me?
Yeah, me. Yeah, you have no basis, exactly.
You didn't give me the goddamn coffee.
Oh,
You
yeah.
You should have gotten me a coffee. You didn't give me anything.
Well, you didn't get me a coffee last week, so I'd say we're about even now, bitch.
Hey guys, we are back with I really got to change the name of this fucking program. Temporary Terror Trio. And so there's a triple T. And this week, my guest, by popular demand, because it was weird that last week's episode did so well and got so many comments about this guest that I had on. So I just had to have her on again. So without further ado or to-do, and much to my chagrin, I have back. You want to say hello?
Hi guys, it's Kat and I'm back. They like me. They really, really like me, babe. And so I'm here.
Yeah, so you're here. Yeah. Yeah.
Babe, I have an idea.
What?
You know what we can call the podcast now?
What?
The Tarot Duo.
No.
What?
No.
No?
No.
Is it because you already admitted that me coming back is, quote, much to your chagrin, end quote?
Yes.
I still think it's a great name.
No.
Well, you could disagree all you want.
See, the thing is that normally the former co-hosts, who shall remain nameless from now on, whenever they would do a podcast or an episode by themselves, they would call themselves a Terror Duo. So there's no Terror Duo anymore. It's just Terror Trio. But until I'm still workshopping names, I don't know. I still have a few that I'm thinking of changing it to, but I don't know yet. I honestly, you know what? What do you guys think? I would like to hear what you guys have for suggestions. Actually, a couple of you guys have already thrown out a couple of suggestions, which sounded pretty good. I was already set on a name that I was going to change it to, but then in hindsight, thinking about it, I didn't like it. So not to mention that Pat was like, nah, I don't think it's a good idea. So Pat is pretty much the final word on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Pat.
Hi, Patricio.
But yeah, so we'll see. But it's going to keep going. We're going to keep having people on. I'm going to keep having people on. We're going to keep having guests on. You know, sometimes I might be doing a solo episode. I hope not.
You should cue the I'm So Lonely song as the intro.
So lonely.
Yeah.
I'm so lonely.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the Celine Dion. All by myself.
Oh, God. I mean, sure.
Don't want to be.
You're a Celine fan.
Oh, I fucking love Celine Dion. I love
so
Celine
random.
Dion.
I never thought you and my mom would have something in common like Celine Dion.
Yeah. Well, I love Celine Dion.
I know you do.
Yes, Celine is tits for me.
The tits?
The tits.
The tits for you.
She doesn't have tits, but she is the tits.
Honestly, I wouldn't know. Maybe
well,
seen her a handful of times.
We're going to do the same old format. Basically, we're going to go through some news. Actually, horror news this week was kind of anemic. There wasn't a lot in there. You know what? That's a new word. Every week, I seem to like focus on one word, and that's the word that I use for
anemic?
The whole like week until I find like a new word. And I'm like, oh,
anemic.
Anemic. This week is anemic.
Low in blood.
Low
in hemoglobin.
I guess. Oh yeah, that's right. You're a nurse. So you're gonna get all nursey on me. Stop it.
I mean,
stop it.
Sure. Go on with the anemic news.
We're gonna do some news. I got a couple pieces of news, and then the subject at hand we were gonna talk about is basically banned horror movies and TV shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only gonna pick one, maybe two things that I'm gonna talk about. Yes,
that's it.
And we know about the one that I was watching last night that you you just refuse to watch? We'll wait for your commentary until later. But on to the news. So it looks like they're I've talked about this before, where they're doing a reboot of Little Shop of Horrors.
Ooh.
As of yet. Have you watched that fucking movie yet?
I haven't watched it. But I dig Rick Moranis and
well, Rick Moranis is not going to be in this one.
I mean, I still dig him.
Yeah, no, Rick Moranis is cool, but after all the shit that happened with his family, he decided to retire from acting or whatever.
Respectively.
I'd like to see him come back.
Yes.
Hopefully he'll come back with in the new Ghostbusters that's coming out, but we'll see. Who knows? But enough about that. Little Shop of Horrors, they're going to be doing it. Greg Berlanti, he of all the CW shows and the Arrowverse, is executive producing this, he's executive producing it, and somebody else is going to be, I don't know who, is going to be directing it. So the rumor was before that they were eyeing Lady Gaga for the role of Audrey, but that's not going to happen. It looks like Scarlett Johansson has been cast as Audrey. They're eyeing Billy Porter for Audrey 2, which I'm all for because I'm a big Pose fan. And the latest piece of news is that now they're Taron Egerton is reportedly in talks for the new Little Shop of Horrors, and now people are thinking that maybe he's in talks to play Seymour Krelborn, which is the role that Rick Moranis played. Hey, are you trying to finish my sentences now?
Now that I
Geeks That Lift,
I successfully complete your sentences, mind you.
All right, you are not the freaking weekend, so you cannot finish or try to finish my sentences.
Except I do on a daily basis.
Whatever.
It's pretty impressive.
Whatever. I'm super excited about it. I love Little Shop of Horrors. I love the original, Steve Martin, Christopher Guest, Levi Stubbs played the voice of Audrey too. Rick Moranis, obviously, Jim Belushi. Like, there's so many people in this fucking movie. The two chicks from Martin, from the TV show Martin. I think Tisha Campbell, who played Martin's wife, she's in it, and then the other girl, who I forgot what her name is, she's in it too. She's two of the three. They're two of the three backup singers that are on the show.
That's
which
cool.
Is it's awesome. I love it. I love the music. So we'll see. I'm very excited about this. I want to see what they do with it. I kind of hope that they stick with practical effects for Audrey 2, where like they did in the original, where it was just a big puppet, a big puppet plant. And I think it was a Jim Henson company that did it, that designed it.
Yeah,
I might be wrong, but I'm not sure. But yeah, I mean, I'm stoked for it. So we'll see. Taron Egerton, I love Taron Egerton. He went from the Kingsman movies, and then he blew it out of the park with Rocket Man.
He won the Golden Globe for Rocket Man.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Did he?
I'm pretty sure he did.
Why do I not remember that?
Well, I don't know why.
I just watched the Golden Globes a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Elton John. I thought he lost it when he won.
I know Rocket Man won for something, but I'm not sure for what. But you know what? Rocket Man's not a horror movie. So.
Yeah, he definitely won. Actor in a musical or comedy.
Oh, cool. Well, much deserved.
Yes. Many props.
I still think Bohemian Rhapsody was a better movie, though.
All right, let's not get into it.
All right, yeah. We'll talk about that on, Geeks That Listen to Music. I don't know.
Or Geeks That Watch Movies, but...
No.
I mean, you already have the...
They're both biopics. They're both musical biopics.
True,
so it's not really... Yeah, it's more music than anything. Don't argue with me.
I do what I want.
All right, next piece of news. It looks like Universal and Blumhouse. Blumhouse, Jason Blum, he of throwing a lot of shit on the wall, seeing what sticks and what works and what doesn't work. There have been hits and misses.
Yes.
I mean, one might say more hits and misses, but still misses nonetheless. When they miss huge.
Yeah, they do.
But they're developing a new version of The Thing that's going to adapt the long lost novel Frozen Hell. So I guess the story expands on the Thing story dramatically, and it gives a vital backstory and context to an already awesome story.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it'll be a good story. Hopefully it's not one of their misses, because that would be a real shame.
They only had one miss though. It was that remake prequel that they did back in 2009, 2010. I'm not sure when that came out. I think it was with Mary Elizabeth Winstead, and I think that's it. I think that was the whole thing. That was like the biggest star that was in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't dig it. You know, the monster was totally, you know, 100% CG. It was bad. It was bad, and it tried to like end seamlessly into where the thing with John Carpenter's, the thing with Kurt Russell, where it started. So it tried to do that, but it was not good. And on top of that, they fucking called the movie The Thing. Like there was already The Thing. And if this is a prequel, then call it something else.
It's actually 2011.
What?
Yeah.
Get out of here.
Yep. Says The Thing 2011.
Okay.
Scored a 35% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, because it was fucking horrible.
Oof.
It was horrible. So we'll see. I mean, you know, the Universal and Blumhouse are doing it. They're gonna be whoever they're gonna get to direct it. Or I think they already have somebody that's going to direct it or write it. Just says that they're going to be respectful of you know, the novel. They're going to adapt the novel, and they're going to adapt the story that the original movie was based on. And I'm talking about the one that was in the 50s. And on top of that, it's also going to be respectful of the John Carpenter one. So It's going to mix everything in there, kind of like the way Dr. Sleep, you know, mixed in and was respectful of the novel and the movie, the Stanley Kubrick movie. So I'm pretty stoked about that. I'm pretty excited. In terms of news, I only got like one more piece. I mean, like I said, there was not a lot news, but you know, I'm going to take a video and maybe a picture of your fucking notebook.
You leave my notebook alone.
How many fucking pages? You got
just
one,
a couple. It's
two,
a small notebook, guys. It's really a small notebook, and I have big handwriting.
Back and
Don't touch my notebook. Get your fingers out of here.
God damn.
Get your fingers out of here.
You have a lot of notes. The only thing I'll give you, though, is that you have very good penmanship. So
thank you.
It looks very neat. It looks like typewriter type.
Thank you.
Face, but that's about it.
Don't shit talk my notes.
You know, and then me, I got handwriting like a serial killer.
Yeah, you do. Fucking chicken scratch on paper.
Whatever. I'll give you chicken. You could scratch his ass.
Wow. What?
I don't know.
Do you want me to scratch your ass with a little chicken foot?
No, because then you're going to get into that voodoo shit. And isn't that what you fucking dirty Puerto Ricans get into? Like the Santeria and all that shit?
I don't know why you're talking down to me.
I'm not talking down to you. I'm just asking. I'm asking you a question.
No, it's not what we do.
That's a lie.
No.
That's a lie.
No.
You sure your mom doesn't have an altar downstairs in the basement?
Has anything ever happened to you
and fucking garlic
that's been questionable?
And you know, it's not
I feel
the Virgin
just
Mary,
because we've been together almost a decade, and the fact that you're still alive with the way that you mouth off to me is a sign that I don't do any witchcraft.
I don't know.
Maybe
man.
I should. Maybe I should fucking do something to have your mouth stapled shut. Or maybe I'll just do it myself tonight when you're home sleeping. Keep it up. Keep it up.
That's not going to happen.
How do you know?
That's not going to happen.
If you guys don't hear about him next week, you know what did happen.
Don't hear about me or don't hear from me?
At all. Both.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Go back to school.
Yeah. Next piece of news.
Yeah. Go to your mom's basement and you know, service the altar of, you know, El Cuco.
That's terrible, babe. That's just terrible.
So it looks like Bloody Disgusting reported 2 days ago that The Crow reboot is back on track.
Okay.
What do you mean, okay? Didn't you like the movie?
I did like the movie, but you know how I feel about reboots.
Yeah, but if anything, The Crow is a movie that I think would benefit from a reboot or a remake.
You think so?
Yeah, the original movie was fucking just so good. And you know, it seems though like the franchise is fucking cursed. You know, from the beginning, because the very first movie, Brandon Lee died.
Yep.
Then the second movie, City of Angels, didn't do well at all.
Oh, I didn't know there was a second one.
There's like 5 of them. There's like 4 or 5 of them. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The last one had Edward Furlong, who played John Connor in Terminator 2, and I think that was about it. And there was one with Kirsten Dunst in it, but I didn't watch all of them. But yeah, it just got weird. And then they made a TV show with what the hell is his name? Mark Dacascos, who you would know who he is. He was the sushi chef assassin from John Wick, the latest John Wick movie.
Oh, okay.
John Wick 3, the guy with the bald head. Yeah. So he played Eric Draven in a syndicated TV show. But it looks like I don't know. Sony dated the Crow reboot that they were going to do it back. It was going to release October 11th, 2019. Obviously, we're in 2020 and it didn't come out. But they had the Nuns, Corin Hardy, directing, and it was supposed to star Jason Momoa as Eric Draven. But hey, what are you doing? You're not paying attention to anything.
I am paying attention.
Look up at me. You put your eyes over here while I'm talking.
I don't need to look at you while you're talking.
God damn it.
God, this episode's so aggressive. What is wrong with you?
Is that my fault that you do voodoo?
Are you low-key jealous that people wanted me back, so now you're just trying to put me down?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I see what's going on here. You're so mad that your audience enjoyed me and that you had to have me back on the show. Then now you just want to poo-poo me. Poo-poo me and my good name. I see how it's going.
Good name. How good is your name right now?
It's pretty good.
Is it?
Ask your fans.
Back on the news.
Yeah.
So Corin Hardy and Jason Momoa were attached to the movie, and then something happened where all inexplicably they just dropped out. They both dropped out. I know Corin Hardy dropped out for whatever reason, and Jason Momoa was like, "Well, the only reason I wanted to make this movie was because Corin Hardy was directing, so I'm out."
Okay.
And I mean, there's been other people that have been attached to this, but this movie's been in development hell for God knows how many years. You know, we had Luke Evans that was attached to star as Eric Draven at one point. They had a whole slew of actors. Even Bradley Cooper at one point was attached to play Eric Draven. But, you know, right now, it looks like Samuel Hadidah's Davis Films, Highland Film Group, and Electric Shadow, who previously acquired the rights to finance, produce, and distribute the film, are still involved in bringing this to the big screen. So
cool.
We'll see what happens. Again, you know, this is reported by Bloody Disgusting 2 days ago, and they're assuring everybody that that this is a thing and this is 100% true, and then it's gonna happen.
Fingers crossed.
So we'll see. Fingers crossed, dicks crossed, appendages crossed. I can't wait. You know,
it's exciting.
I can't wait. So that was it. That's all the news that I had. We actually had a chance last night. We went to we normally do like a date night, and we go out and
normally along with that date night, there's a date night post. But someone decided to I don't know, not do that post.
Jesus Christ.
You know, second time in 8 years that you have failed to do a date night post. I'm starting to think that date night is dying, maybe. I don't know.
Are you calling me a failure?
There's no post to follow up, so how would people know what we watched, babe?
Nobody knows anything right now. I don't post the posts on the social medias or the Terror Trio of social medias or anything like that. Way to bring our personal shit out here.
But you posted on the Facebook.
On the Facebook, yeah.
On my
personal Facebook page.
For our mothers to see. And you know what our mothers got yesterday?
On Facebook.
My mom is.
Your mom's on Facebook.
Yeah.
And your mom knows all the dirty things that happen.
Hi, Mom.
Does your mom even listen to the show? Has your mom listened to the show? Has any of your friends or family members listened to last week's episode?
I don't think.
While we're at it.
No, I don't think my mom
Did you post about the episode on your Facebook while we're at it?
No, I didn't.
You didn't mark it? You didn't throw it out there or anything? Why?
I don't need to mark it. It's not my show.
Why? But you're on it, though.
Yeah, I was the guest.
Yeah. So why wouldn't you put it out there? Be like, hey, guys, look, I did a thing.
Because that's not my thing. Besides, I don't post on my Facebook anyways. Yeah, my Facebook is usually pretty dry.
Yeah, you're the weirdest 20-year-old I've ever met.
Well, I just like to be private about my stuff.
You like to be pregnant about your stuff?
Private.
Oh, okay. So back to what I was saying. So last night we actually got to, I don't know if you guys saw on Instagram, we went in and watched Gretel and Hansel, a grim fairy tale story. I think it was a grim fairy tale story. And well, I just found out today. Remember we were talking about it last night, and I thought it was rated R.
Yeah,
it's PG-13.
I knew it.
You did?
I knew it. There was no way. There was no reason for that movie to be rated R. Maybe the sight of blood, but there was really no actual sight of blood.
There was blood.
Where though? Like when the spoilers, when the chick's head fell off.
Yeah.
There was no blood. It just fell off. No, there wasn't any
blood. But I mean, when oh yeah. Also, guys, I mean, if you're planning on watching the movie, this is going to be a spoiler filled review. So. Just gonna throw it out there. But yeah, I mean the scene though when the witch was you know, she pulled out that barrel full of fucking body parts and entrails and shit.
There was no blood on it though.
Yes, there was.
No, it was all spoiled viscera.
Are you doing nurse talk again?
Those are internal organs.
Okay. Okay.
That's all it was. She grabbed an arm and she tossed it on there, but even the arm wasn't even bloody. It was like rotten and spoiled, but it wasn't bloody.
Yeah.
It all looked like garbage essentially until she tossed that hand up there, is what I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think, I mean, even when she was like burned alive, the flames were
spoilers.
Blue. I don't know. Like, it's not like she melted and her body burned.
Well, that's the thing about the movie. I remember like afterwards, well, for those of you that don't know, the movie is called Gretel and Hansel. It's a Grimm fairy tale story. It stars Sophia Lillis, who was in It and It Chapter 2.
Yes.
She played, what was the girl's name?
For some reason, Molly pops into my head, but I don't know if that's it.
I don't think it was Molly, but and Alice Krieg was in it, directed by Osgood Perkins.
Yes,
beautiful movie. I thought the movie was gorgeous. The way it was lit, the way it was filmed, the costume design, like the atmosphere, like everything in the movie. Like in terms of the movie, I think it was more. My critique of it is that it was more style over substance.
Yeah.
In terms of the movie. I mean, the movie already itself, to use the word that I'm talking about this week, the story itself is anemic. I mean,
sure, babe.
If you guys know about, the Hansel and Gretel story, basically the Hansel and Gretel story are these two kids and they're poor and they come face to face with a witch in the woods. They're super hungry. The witch entices them with food and treats and all sort of what have you. And it's a cannibalistic witch, and the witch wants to eat them, and they come out on top, they kill the witch, and they escape. That's it. End of story. So they try to flesh out the story a little more with, Gretel is pretty much the star of the movie, and I think that's why they changed the title to Gretel and Hansel instead of Hansel and Gretel.
Oh, is it supposed to be like a female, like girl power thing? It really annoyed me that it was called Gretel and Hansel.
Why did it annoy you?
It really annoyed me because it's Hansel and Gretel.
She was pretty much the star of the movie.
Listen, really doesn't matter what order it goes in.
One of the weak points of this movie is fucking Hansel. That little kid annoyed me. That little kid annoyed me. I didn't think he can act. It was bad.
I figured it
chop wood. Chop your ass.
He can learn. I was like, oh,
yeah.
Gretel's a bitch.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was just I don't know that kid, that little boy, like I don't know, he couldn't act. And then the scene where he was all catatonic and facing the fucking wall and in the corner, and just I don't know. But I think Sophia Lillis just fucking killed it. I think she blew it out of the park.
She plays Beverly.
Beverly. That's who she played in It. Yeah. Alice Krieg is just fucking old. I thought she was scary. Yeah. She's old, but
I looked at a picture of her. It's a lot of enhancement.
They enhanced her face
big time.
A lot. The cheeks, her lips. You could tell that she had false teeth, like all of that, and they made her look witchy, very, very witchy. She was a very witchy woman. But they, I was okay with the little subplot with Gretel. How she was she had like latent witch powers and the witch, I think her name was Hulda.
Yes, it was.
Took her under her wing, and she wanted to teach her how to use her powers and all that shit. And then what I wasn't sure about was if she just wanted her as an apprentice so she can teach her the ways of being a witch, or if she was jealous that she was a witch, so she wanted to like ultimately destroy her. I'm not sure what it was and what was going on there. But they took all that time, and where the scene where she has her period, and then all of a sudden she starts teaching her how to fucking how to use her mind to with the broom and all that shit. And it just, I don't know. I mean, it was cool, but it ended abruptly. Like,
the movie was only about an hour and 22 minutes long, I think.
Yeah, it wasn't very long. I think it was an hour and 27 minutes. It wasn't long at all.
Yeah.
It was a lean, like 90 minutes, just under 90-minute movie. But it was, I don't know, man. Like it just like I was waiting for like a showdown or something, between the witch and the girl and Gretel, but it never happened. Like, she killed her like super quick, super fast.
Yeah.
And then was like, all right, Hansel, go home. I'm going to hang out here.
Yeah.
And, play with the kids that were previously thought dead.
Well, she freed them.
But she freed them from what? I thought they were dead.
I figured that was
the witch
like
ate them.
I figured that was like meaning for freeing their spirits.
I don't know. I like the scene with the bacon rolled scallop and the witch ate it and then she pulled out that fucking, which is in the posters, where she pulls out the fucking pigtail, the girl pigtail.
Yeah.
That was cool.
That was cool.
I mean, like I said, it was a gorgeous film, but again, the story was very anemic.
It was very underwhelming.
Yeah, I could say underwhelming. Now I had a feeling, and it was funny because I almost turned to you and said it when the scene happened, when they were super hungry and they're walking through the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, excuse me. And they found the mushrooms.
Yeah.
What did those mushrooms look like?
They look like the ones from Mario.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the first thing I thought of.
Yeah, that's the first thing I thought of too.
They were bright red with the white spots on them.
White spots.
And I thought it was
I read an article in a review of the movie, and the director, Osgood Perkins, actually said that he took from Super Mario Brothers. He designed the mushrooms after the Super Mario Brothers mushrooms.
That's funny.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
His thing is that I guess with his previous movies, he likes to imbue and put in like, sly little pop culture references in his movies, and he did it with this one. So that was interesting. So I mean, what would you give this movie? Like, would you recommend people go out and see this movie, or would you recommend they wait it out, or what?
No, it's definitely a wait out movie to me. Like you said, I have to agree that the movie was beautifully shot. The cinematography was by Gallo Olivares. It had beautiful colors. It had beautiful scenery. The costumes were amazing. The colors coordinated well with each other. The shots where they were head on with the actors, specifically some shots with Sophia Lillis that were taken head on of her, were beautiful. But the movie itself was just terribly underwhelming. It's nice to see, but I wouldn't really go out and make the effort to spend the money on it. I guess it got a 5.8 out of 10 on IMDb, and it only scored a 57% on Rotten Tomatoes.
Really?
Yes, it did. Crazy. That was it. I think the acting was really good. I think the little boy was was what you would think like a little brother would be. He
fucking sucked.
I think it was accurate in that sense.
Yeah.
I looked up what the original fairy tale was. It's a German fairy tale, and it said that they were brother and sister kidnapped by a cannibalistic witch.
Okay.
She lives in a house that's made of gingerbread cake.
Yeah.
And all sorts of other treats, and the two kids end up escaping her by outwitting her. I really like the twist that they did in this story. I was hoping for like what you said, like a bigger showdown. I thought it was maybe building to something, but the movie was just kind of going, and then it ended. And then it
just ended abruptly.
Yeah. It was a lot of setup for not a good execution.
And then was the witch old or was the witch young?
It never really explained.
Old just to entice the kids?
I think,
so she can seem
it was
like
that.
Weak and,
now that you say that.
And fragile? Or I mean, what was it?
Well, don't you remember, now that you mention that, don't you remember her saying that in the movie? She took on the disguise of an older person for her to look weak towards other people and for her to fool them.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. And then there was that little twist with we got the whole prequel backstory with the little girl and the little girl that turned evil and started like fucking everybody up. And then they just abandoned her in the woods. So she fended for herself. And the whole time we're thinking that that's the witch.
Yeah.
And it turns out to be the witch's daughter.
Yes.
Spoilers. But yeah, it was just, I don't know. Honestly.
The mother of the witch, basically. The mother of the evil little girl.
Yeah, the witch is the mother of the evil chick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I don't know. Actually, honestly, I think I would recommend this movie for people to go see in the theaters. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Even though the story was anemic.
Underwhelming.
And anemic.
Underwhelming.
The story had no iron.
That's what the story was missing?
It was missing iron.
If it had more iron in it?
It was missing lead in its pencil. That's what it was missing.
Had it had more iron and or lead, it would have been... And you're still recommending it?
Yeah, only because of the way the movie looked, the way the movie was visually.
Yeah.
I think people would benefit from seeing it on the big screen as opposed to seeing it on, watching it on your phone or watching it on the TV at home.
I guess so, but
Or on your fucking tablet or on your laptop.
I forget that most people don't watch things at home the way that we watch them.
Yeah. Well,
so
it's got the huge TV. Most people don't have a big TV, as big a TV as we do.
I guess so.
Yeah.
Well,
so that's it. I mean, honestly, I said, story wise, if you're looking for like an in-depth, like crazy, like story, like really good, like story, no, you're not going to get it.
Yeah.
But if you want to see something that's beautifully shot, something that's very stylistic, something that'll make that's like heroin for your eyeballs.
Wow.
Then
heroin for your eyeballs.
Or if you're a welfare,
what
poor person,
Where the fuck
meth
are
or
we
crack
going with
for
this?
your eyeballs.
So the Niagara Falls portion of Buffalo.
Oh wow!
No, I'm so sorry.
Niagara Falls, New York, not Niagara Falls, Canada. Wow, babe.
I'm sorry. It was one of those things that just came out.
See,
and as it's ending,
there you go. That's why we get along so well, because you're just as big of an asshole as I am.
Oh,
yeah.
Speaking of, you want to share some of that stale coffee? I need some coffee
now you want the coffee. So now you want me to be chivalrous?
I don't make a thing about drinking black coffee, much less stale coffee, but having stale coffee is better than no coffee.
Well,
I guess.
Yeah, you like black things too, so.
Like your soul?
Wow.
Yeah.
Like your heart?
You like my heart.
Do I?
Exactly.
Do I really?
You do.
All right.
Moving on.
If you say so. All right, guys. So that was it. We had our news. We had our review of Gretel and Hansel. Kat says don't see it and wait till it comes out for free. I say go, give it a chance. Check it out in the theaters. I think it could be a lot worse. Yep. And honestly, fucking horror movies, quote unquote, that have been coming out lately have been doing horribly.
They're not really horror.
Horribly.
Well, the last one that we watched was The Grudge, and we already talked about how
The Grudge did horribly.
La Llorona.
Underwater. Well,
I didn't watch
Llorona
that
came
one.
out last year. I'm talking about in the last few weeks.
Oh, but
every movie that has come out, every horror movie that's come out, like a new horror movies come out almost weekly. The Grudge came out, it did shitty.
Yeah.
Underwater came out, it did shitty. Yeah. The Turning that just came out last week, that is doing really shitty.
I mean, it's PG-13 on top of that.
Hey, I'm all for it. You're preaching to the choir right here, anti Peter Vullo. But yeah, you know me. I'm of the mind that a PG-13 horror movie just doesn't. It's just not good. But who knows? But this movie, I don't think. I think it still suffers like the other movies do. Underwater was just it tried to be Alien. Underwater. And then on top of that, spoilers, the cool thing about it was at the ending, we got to see for the first time ever in film a live action, even though it was purely CGI, Cthulhu.
That's cool.
An H.P. Lovecraft monster.
That's a nice payoff for horror fans.
Yeah, but it was just too little, too late, and it had Kristen Stewart in it. And Kristen Stewart was trying to do this whole tough girl shaved head vibe thing.
I just
most
don't
of the
buy
movie
it.
she was like in her underwear. It was weird. It was weird. And she has a body of a 12-year-old boy on top of that. So on top of her not knowing how to act.
Damn, babe.
So I don't know. But I mean, all these movies are just doing, that's what I'm trying to, all these movies are just doing really, really, really bad.
Yeah.
And I don't like it because it just means that if these movies keep doing as shitty as they're doing, then the studios are just going to stop making them.
I don't think that. I don't think the studios will just stop.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, there's some stuff out there that's coming out down the pipeline that I'm pretty excited about. Another Blumhouse movie. They're coming out with the adaptation of Fantasy Island.
Mm-hmm.
There you go, finishing my sentences again.
I knew what you were talking about, and you obviously couldn't get there, so you're welcome.
I was getting there.
I seen the look in your face.
So, Fantasy Island.
Mm-hmm.
And, we saw the preview yesterday for Antlers.
Yeah.
That looks good. That looks really good.
I want to watch another preview before I'm absolutely sold.
I'm in for that. I'm in for Antlers. And I mean, there's others. There's others coming down. I don't quite remember. They showed a few previews last night for upcoming horror movies that are supposed to come out. But for the life of me, I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I remember the trailer for Antlers. Oh yeah, you know what? I don't remember seeing a lot of trailers because I was too busy posting on the Terrachiro Instagram site that we were about to watch Gretel and Hansel.
There you go.
Yeah. So there you go, guys. You got your review of Gretel and Hansel. We'll see what happens. Go see it, maybe, but don't expect too much.
That's a fair.
Yeah. Don't expect a good story.
Yeah.
Expect a visually a visual
enticing movie.
A visual cornucopia of orgasmic. And I don't have anything to end with that.
See, and then if I would have finished your
eyeballs
sentence,
are
it would have been
all over your face.
It would have been a problem.
What?
Yet had I finished your sentence, it would have been a problem. Now look at you.
Yeah, what were you going to say then?
I don't know. I could have finished it though.
Yeah. All right. So on to the subject, today's subject. We got about 20, 25 minutes to talk about it. So like I said, we basically the subject today, we're going to talk about banned horror movies and TV shows out there. You have got...
I did my research.
Quite the novel written. So I'm going to let you take it.
Notes. They're just
Start
notes.
talking, man, because I'm really interested to see what you got there.
They're just notes.
Because every time I asked you what you were writing, I got the mind your business.
Yeah. Why would you ask me beforehand so then you'd know what I was going to talk about? Then there'd be no point. We could
be informed, and we could have a good, a nice witty banter back and forth. So I could.
We do that already.
But I get it.
And besides, I'm pretty sure you're probably going to be familiar with what I'm going to talk about.
I'm sure I'm going to be familiar with all of it.
But anyways, moving forward, the first thing I'm going to start with TV episodes that were removed or banned for whatever reason.
Okay.
I think I got about 5 of them. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is the encounter episode from The Twilight Zone. This episode is in the 5th season, episode 151. It originally aired May 1st in 1964, and it starred a very young George Takei, or Takai, if you will. Yes. And the reason why this specific episode was banned was due to extreme racism. If anyone has watched the episode, I think when I watched it yesterday as part of my research, I started it, and I'm a fan of The Twilight Zone. I enjoy it quite a bit. And when it started, I thought, yeah, it has some mild racism, nothing too crazy. But then as the episode goes on, there's a little bit of yelling about a dirty Jap or what, some or the other, and I was like, holy shit.
I don't know why I'm laughing.
That's why this episode was banned.
So the episode's banned because it was heavily racist.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it was heavily racist. The episode was actually only aired once and then removed from the air. Was never re-aired on CBS up until January 1st, 2016, when it was part of the Sci-Fi Twilight Zone New Year's Eve marathon. That was the first time the show has been rebroadcasted. And actually yesterday I watched it on Netflix.
Yes, you did. I watched bits and pieces of it because I was, trying to wash my ass.
Yeah.
So you were, I saw George Takei. I was like, oh, George Takei. Mm-hmm. And then you were like, yeah. I'm like, what are you watching? I was like, aren't you just supposed to be doing research? I'm like, I am doing research.
What do you think?
And then I didn't think, honestly, I didn't think there were any episodes of Twilight Zone that were banned. So
yeah,
that's why I thought you were just, shitting the bed and just not doing your homework.
Yeah, well, go fuck yourself.
Thanks.
I don't think I don't think the episode is any reflection on its creator, Rod Serling. As some of you may know, Rod Serling is actually a local. He was from Syracuse.
Huh.
And he actually passed away in Rochester. He was fairly young. He was 50 years old when he passed. But he was very active in politics. He also served in the U.S. military, part of the Army. And a lot of the times, the things that he drew upon for inspiration for his Twilight Zone episodes had everything to do with what he experienced in his life, anything to do from boxing to his military life to airplane pilot things. Mm-hmm. Those were the things that he really used. And he was working hard to kind of bring these issues to the forefront. He had a lot of issues a lot of the times with TV executives mm-hmm. and a lot of sponsors. He had issues of censorship, racism, and, things that he talked about the war.
Yeah.
And he actually fought for years to keep Twilight Zone on the air. It was actually canceled 3 times, revived twice.
Really?
Yes, it was. Yeah. The show made it 5 seasons, every season except for the 4th season having half-hour episodes. The
But there
fourth
was,
season.
like, each season had like 36 episodes or
Yes.
some crazy shit
yeah,
like that.
it had about 36 episodes each. The fourth season is the only season that has hour-long episodes, and it's actually the only season that's not available on Netflix, which I found pretty interesting. But he continued to fight for the show until its final and third cancellation, when he just kind of let it go.
Yeah, but then he came back and did Night Gallery.
Yes, he did. That was afterwards. But nothing is, I would say, probably as popular and as loving as the Twilight Zone.
Yeah.
So that was my first one. What do you think of that?
I mean, I get it. You know, I'm a huge Twilight Zone fan. I like to think that I'm the one that got you into the Twilight Zone.
Agreed.
Yes. And you know, you took to it like a fish to water.
Yes.
But then you kind of stopped. You like there. I remember when I turned you on to Twilight Zone, you started watching them, and you started watching them like every day. You were watching like 5 to 8 episodes a day. Like, it was ridiculous. And then you just abruptly stopped.
So I never told you why I abruptly stopped.
No.
So I was feeding my brain Twilight Zone, guys, like all the time. Like we said, each season has 36 episodes. That's a lot of fucking episodes. Now you get maybe 8 to 10, maybe
It
13.
depends. Yeah, normally,
you know, maybe 22, depending. You know, I know it depends on a lot of different things. When we used to watch Big Bang, they used to have the long, 22, 23, maybe 24 episode seasons. Now, it
Back when you
varies.
used to get the Big Bang.
Anyways, it varies. And I was like broadcasting Twilight Zone into my brain for an excessive amount of time that I actually
You were into it for a couple
dreaming
months.
about Twilight Zone. I started dreaming like I was in the Twilight Zone, and it freaked me out. And I thought maybe I should back off of it a little bit. It was a really weird, vivid, weird nightmare that was like a Twilight Zone episode. And I remember
That's fucking cool.
It's like seeped into like my subconscious, and it scared the fuck out of me. But I'm back on it. This year I watched the Twilight Zone marathon.
The marathon New Year's Day, right?
Yep. It's all I watched all New Year's Day long, and it kind of got me started back on it. So
that's cool. And also, you got a pretty cool tattoo idea for a Twilight Zone tattoo.
Yes, I do.
Which I keep telling you that you better push and do it, because if not, I'm going to steal it and do it myself.
Like you do with the others.
What?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, do you have any other like TV show band episodes that you want to talk about? Yeah, talk about it. Because I have one, and you know which one. I have one. Well, I have one TV show episode that I'm going to talk about, and possibly one movie, and that's it.
Wow. All right. Well, on to the next. The next episode that was actually banned from TV is a X-Files episode entitled Home. It's season 4, episode 2.
Is that the one with the inbreeders?
Yes.
Yes.
Called Home.
Oh my God.
Yep.
Yeah.
The episode originally aired October 11th, 1996, and it was banned because it upset audiences.
Aww.
People did not like the idea of an inbreeding family basically burying alive a mutant baby that was found and investigated.
That's crazy.
By Mulder and Scully.
You know what's funny is that that's another thing. That's another TV show that I tried to get you into, was the X-Files, and you were into it for a little bit.
Yeah.
And that you stopped abruptly.
I did. So
the fuck, man.
I love extraterrestrial stuff, UFO, aliens, all that shit, which is why I really liked the X-Files when it started. This episode in particular, even when I was watching it yesterday and they kind of addressed it in the show, and I was like, oh, okay, this is what happened. And then I thought maybe this is what kind of pushed me away from the show. It wasn't so much sci-fi anymore. How sci-fi can a family of fucking inbreeders be? It's not very sci-fi other than it being outrageously disgusting.
Yeah, but that was the thing. That was the cool thing about the X-Files. The X-Files had their Monster of the Week episodes, but then they also had the episodes that had the overarching story, which was about the aliens.
I want the overarching story. I want the story.
You got to throw in the Monster of the Week episode.
I don't want the Monster of the Week. I want the aliens. I want time skipping. I want to be abducted. I want all that shit. I don't care about a bunch of
black tar going into your bloodstream and invading your eyeballs and then reconstructing your DNA to turn you into alien food.
Yes, that's the shit that I want. I don't want a bunch of fucking home breeders.
Watch the fucking rest of the seasons.
Whatever.
Trust me, it gets good. It gets good, and then it gets bad, and then it gets good.
Okay. So you.
I'm not gonna lie. Not every episode or every season of the X-Files is a home run.
Yeah, and for me, this one was one of them. I don't know. I'm just kidding. This one was one of the ones that was actually one of the scariest episodes of the X-Files. I found it funny how they kind of addressed it in the show where Mulder's like, this isn't really having anything to do with the FBI. This doesn't have anything to do with what we do.
Yeah.
They're a bunch of inbreeders. Let the local police investigate. And then, Scully makes her heartfelt plea of maybe them having some woman that they're torturing because somebody had to have this mutant baby. We can't let them just keep going, Mulder. We got to stop them. And then he goes, okay, Scully, I guess a case of a missing is the FBI's business. And then the episode goes on. And I was like, oh, fuck this.
Well, Mulder just did that because he wanted to fuck.
Oh, I'm sure. But
he wanted to fuck Scully. And eventually he did.
Yeah, didn't they have a kid or something?
And then they end up having a kid. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was an okay episode. I don't see.
You didn't see what the big controversy was about, why it upset most people?
Yeah, no. Apparently it was removed from syndication. It was removed from the syndication package, and then later on, after a few years, it was reintroduced on FX, and they started airing the episode again. But by then, people had already known and been familiar with that particular episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's not, I don't know. It wasn't, yeah, I've seen it a few times, so it's not, I didn't think it was that bad of an episode. But then again, I don't really get insulted by anything. I'm not very, we all know I'm not very PC anyways, so, and I'm not an SJW either.
SJW.
So, social justice warrior. That's the people that you got that are behind the keyboards, and they're like, "Oh, they
have a fucking name,
and that offends me, and this offends me."
Oh, I fucking hate you people.
Let's put a petition out because we don't want this and we don't want that. Yeah, social justice warriors.
What is it? SJW.
SJW.
Go fuck yourself, bunch of SJWs. And I wish you would say something about me. I was watching while I was doing my research for this. I think a lot of these topics weren't really. I can see how the encounter was offensive, but for the most part, I don't see how the rest of them were like such a big deal. I understand that the times were different, but I think all this stuff just goes into the fact that people don't know how to mind their own fucking business and how it just gets worse, especially in today's day. People think that you can like freely give your opinions, like people want to hear what you have to say. And let me tell you something. I personally don't give a fuck. And that's why I just kind of am the way that I am. And maybe that's why
gears?
It really does grind my gears.
You're totally
babe.
giving me a Peter Griffin grind my gears fucking vibe right now.
I mean, it's how I feel about these, this thing that I just discovered. What are they called? SJW?
SJW, social justice warriors. Losers.
It really grinds my gears. Everyone's entitled to opinions, but not everyone wants to hear them. God, so why don't you just be quiet and go fuck yourself?
Oh God.
But that's all I'll say about that.
All right. Now, do you have any other like how many like
I mean, I didn't know how many. I didn't know how many to write down.
We might have to do this. We might have to make this a two-parter.
Oh. I mean,
we might have to make this a two-parter.
Do you want me to cut the episodes and move on to my movies?
No. Let's do one more. Let's do one more episode of a show. I don't know whichever one you thought was the worst one. Then I'll throw my one episode of a TV show, which is a doozy, and then you go for a movie, and then I'll do a movie.
Okay. Last one I'll talk about. Apparently, I did too much research, but whatever.
No such thing.
Says the person who came with one topic for each. Anyways, the last TV show that I'll talk about
only about an hour and a half.
is the episode Bored She Hung Herself on a TV show called Hawaii Five-0.
What the fuck?
Actually, interestingly
enough,
a horror.
Hawaii Five-0. Now, which one? The reboot? The one that's on now, or the one with Jack Lord from back in the day?
Back in the day.
Man, you know what?
I just found this interesting because
Hawaii Five-0 had the coolest fucking intro music.
Did it? There we go. There you go, babe. Wow, you're doing the whole song, huh?
All right, well, I guess I'll stop.
Yeah.
You know what? Interesting piece of trivia.
What?
They did that. What I just did just now. Mm-hmm. Speaking of Twilight Zone, Twilight Zone, the movie, which you still haven't watched, in the beginning part of that, there's, what's his name? Albert Brooks and Dan Aykroyd. do a scene in the beginning of the movie. It's like a wraparound story type scene where they're driving down the highway, and they're talking about, they do like a little like competition thing, like a game where one of them sings or hums a song, a TV theme song, and then the other one has to guess it, and then vice versa.
Oh, okay.
And and then Albert Brooks does the Hawaii 5-0 thing, and then it goes crazy after that.
Cool.
But no, it was good.
This, I mean, I was interested in it because this was actually one of the only episodes that I watched that I looked for yesterday that I could not find at all.
Oh.
When they took this off syndication and when they said that they only aired it once, they really meant it. The episode is called Bored She Hung Herself, from the TV series Hawaii 5-0. The episode originally aired January 7th, 1970. It's in season 2, episode 16, and I looked everywhere.
Really?
Everywhere. Amazon Prime. You can find the whole seasons, all the episodes except episode 16.
Interesting.
It was actually banned for off-screen murder and never rebroadcasted after its original airing date.
Off-screen murder?
Yep.
Oh.
That was the reason for it being banned. It was never repeated. It was never running as a repeat on CBS, and it was never included when the show went into syndication. Also, when season 2 was released on DVD, that specific episode was not included.
No shit.
Yep. And on top of that, when they released a complete series set it back in December of 2013, that episode was still not included as part of the series set. I read online that there was an interview, I don't know if it's the show creator's wife. There was actually something that happened that I think the episode was about these yogis who practice autoerotic asphyxiation as part of their routine. And I guess someone in real life had actually tried to do this and accidentally hung themselves.
Oh my God.
Some crazy shit like that. And I think that's why it just came part of my list. I thought it was pretty funny. This episode is just nowhere to be found. It's just not available.
Yeah, like right now, I'm even trying to look for it on YouTube, and I'm not finding it at all. At all.
Usually all of the episodes that I talked about and looked up, I found without a problem.
Yeah.
This one I searched and searched and searched, and it's just not available.
That is
not found.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But then you know what? You get fucking people that, and this isn't like horrific, but well, maybe it is, but there's I attribute it to fucking stupid people. Just like when they see things on TV or in movies, and they're like, I'm gonna try to do that. Yeah. And then they end up fucking it up and fucking themselves up.
Yep.
And then the studios and everybody else is like, oh shit, because of stupid people, we got to pull it. There was a movie, which is not a movie, not a horror movie at all. It was a football movie called The Program that starred Craig Schaefer from Nightbreed. And I think Mike Epps is that stupid comedian.
Yep.
Omar Epps. And a couple other people in it. Are they related?
I'm pretty sure they are.
I don't know if they are, but there's a scene in the program where the football players, they line themselves up on the perforated lines on a street or on a highway or something, and they all lay down. And it's like something where it was like a team building thing. And, they were risk takers because Craig Schaefer's character, he was like an alcoholic, or his dad was like an alcoholic, and he was an alcoholic, and he liked to take a lot of risks and shit. And he was like the star of quarterback. So they had this scene where they all like laid down in the street in the middle of the road, and all these cars are passing by him and shit. Well, guess some dumbasses decided to fucking try the same thing, and they got fucking run over.
Damn, son.
So because of that, they ended up cutting that scene off of all the copies of the movies the movie. And like you'll never see it anywhere, because when it got released on video, I think it got released on video. Excuse me. It got released on video, DVD, even when they show it like on TV, syndicated TV or anything, that scene is nowhere to be found.
That's terrible.
It's fucked up.
That is terrible.
It's fucked up. But yeah. That Hawaii 5-0 fucking thing is, it's just,
it was pretty interesting to me.
It is pretty interesting.
I was shocked. Yeah.
That's nuts.
Nowhere.
Huh. But that's funny.
If any of you guys can find it, feel free to send me a copy, because I really want to see what happens in this episode now.
Yeah. Actually, I mean, you guys know how to get a hold of us. So, send it out anywhere,
yes.
Whether it be on the email, at Terratrio at gmail.com
Mhm.
or, any of the social medias. Let us know. Cause yeah, I'm actually, you've piqued my interest in this. I actually kind of want to check that episode out too.
Nice, right?
Yeah. Now, in terms of banned TV show episodes,
Yes.
there was back in 2005, there was a TV show that aired on Showtime called Masters of Horror.
Okay.
And basically, it was started by Mick Garris. Mick Garris is the one horror director. He adapts a lot of Stephen King type of stuff, actually a lot of Stephen King properties.
Mhm.
And he wanted to create this show and basically just get people like Joe Dante
Mhm.
and basically people that direct, big horror directors, to direct an episode. Each director got an episode
that's
of the
cool.
show,
Okay.
which was pretty cool. It didn't get as big of a reception as one might have hoped.
Mhm.
I think they only made 1 or 2 seasons, and then it got canceled,
Mhm.
and then they repackaged it and renamed it, and then it was a show on NBC, and I think it was called Fear Itself. I think
Okay.
it was called, but that did shitty also.
Mhm.
So they stopped doing it. But there was one of the acclaimed directors. He's a Japanese director. His name is Takashi Miike, who did Audition,
I've heard. Yeah.
Itchy the Killer.
Oh, God.
His movies are pretty fucked up.
Yeah, they are.
They're pretty fucked up.
Mhm.
And he had his episode. His episode was called Imprint.
Oh God.
Now,
Oh God. Here we go.
here we go.
Oh.
Last night, in doing research for the show today, for the episode today, I haven't watched this episode since I bought it. Well, that's the thing. The Takashi Miike ended up making this episode, directing this episode. It was set to air. It was going to be the 13th episode of the season that was going to air on Showtime. Now, mind you, this is Showtime.
Yeah.
Pay cable.
Yep.
All right. So pay cable shows some fucked up shit.
You can fuck. You can swear. You can do anything.
You can suck.
Yeah.
You can disembowel people.
Yeah.
You can eat the shit that you disembowel them. You
true.
can eat shit.
Yeah.
And still they'll be like, yep, go ahead, watch it. But this episode was so fucking intense that Showtime was like, we are not fucking showing this.
I mean,
Not
didn't
at
they
all.
see that coming with the director if they were at all familiar with some of his previous movies?
Yeah, but
like
this,
Audition
this,
and Itchy the Killer?
This took it to a whole new level. Now, mind you, I haven't watched since before. When I watched it last night, the last time I watched that was back in like 2006.
Oh wow, it's been some time.
when I bought the DVD.
Yeah.
And it was a plain regular DVD. Also, it was just like, because I like Takashi Miike. I love his movies. His movies are just they're super super intense and
Whew.
super graphic.
Yes.
And he's real big into torture.
Yes, he
And
is. Oh God.
and that's like his thing. Like, obviously the scene in Audition with the piano wire and all that other shit. Like it's just which you still have not watched.
I haven't, but I don't know if I have this a strong enough stomach for this.
Well, let's put it this way:
Was Itchy the Killer
the
the
torture
one?
scene yesterday, it was way more intense than the torture scene in Audition.
Oh well, then you know what? I feel like I can stomach that.
Yeah.
Then, just in comparison. But is Itchy the Killer the one something to do with like deep frying people and their body parts? Which one was?
I don't think so.
No.
No.
Oh damn! What
No.
movie was that?
I don't know if that's Microwave Massacre or what. I'm not sure.
Oh,
But with this one, it's called Imprint. Showtime decided that they were not going to air it. They were like, fuck that. It's not happening. Basically, the basic plot of this movie, an American played by Billy Drago, who Billy Drago is... he just died recently too, not too long ago. Like I think sometime late last year, he ended up passing away. And he's for people who don't know who Billy Drago is, if you watch the movie The Untouchables with Kevin Costner and Sean Connery and Andy Garcia in them, then he played Frank Nitti,
Okay.
Al Capone's enforcer. And this dude just looks fucking terrifying. Yes, he just has that look. His face looks like a skull. Yeah. And you're pulling up pictures of him right now. And so he plays this American that goes to Japan, and he goes to Japan to look for the love of his life, who ended up getting kidnapped or ended up getting sold into prostitution, and she ended up being a prostitute. He goes and goes to this brothel, and he ends up picking this prostitute who has like a fucked up looking face. Not really. She's kind of disfigured on one side of her face.
Got a phantom face.
It looks like her, like the side of her face is like stretched up towards her scalp on the one side. And he talks to her and he tells her why he's there. She tells him that she knows the prostitute that he's looking for, the love of his life. And she goes into a story into telling him what happened to her, that she ended up, he told her that she ended up hanging herself and she's dead, and she's been dead for about 6 months. He freaks out about it. But then that's when the fucking episode, at first you're like, I was like, all right, like the first 15, 20 minutes of that. Now mind you, it's an hour long episode. So it's just a little over an hour long. So it's not very long, but the first 15, 20 minutes, I was like, all right, this is pretty tame. Like I remember, all I remembered from when I saw it 15 years ago was one scene that I'm going to talk about by a river, but that's all I remember about it. But I didn't remember any of the other shit that happened. And I don't know if you were looking at my fucking facial expressions while I was watching, but I understand why Showtime banned the shit out of this episode. You know, then it turns where this prostitute, oh yeah, spoilers by the way, where this prostitute just tells him this story. She tells him different variations or different variations of the same story. At first, she told her that she knew who the prostitute was that he was looking for, that she was kind to her, and that, you know, she helped her out, she fed her, and because she was disfigured, she wasn't pulling in the fucking men's and the monies like the other girls were, so she didn't get to eat. So this prostitute, the love of his life, ended up like being kind to her and feeding her and being nice to her. And at one point, the disfigured prostitute ended up stealing the madam of the brothels. She had like this jade ring, and she ends up stealing the ring. One of the other prostitutes sees her doing it, so she ends up framing the nice prostitute for it. And then that's when shit got crazy. Got crazy. It went from fucking, you know, this nice story to the madam ends up taking the nice prostitute and starts questioning her and like, did you take the ring? Where's my ring? Where's my ring? And she's like, I don't fucking know. I didn't take your goddamn ring. I'm paraphrasing. And she ends up fucking torturing the shit out of this prostitute. Like, badly. And the whole thing is that she calls this other lady in, the torturer, I'm going to refer to her as, and she's like, all right, torture this bitch until she confesses, but don't leave any marks. Don't do anything to her face. Don't do anything to her titties, to her hoo-ha, any of that, but torture her. And they fucked her up. And I think that was you saw a couple of the parts there where they stuck like metal chutes down her fingernails. They took like burned pieces of not pieces but incense, like the ends of incense, and they jammed it into her armpits. Then they took the same chutes that they put in her fingernails, and they opened her mouth and they started sticking it in her gums.
What the fuck,
man? Then they tied her up. Christ. They hog tied her, and then they put her upside down, and then at one point after all that, like they left her hanging there, and she pissed herself, and the you see the urine fucking coming down onto her face, and it was bad. Like even I was like, oh. Yeah. Like it was pretty horrible.
Yeah, it was.
But then that's just where it started. That's just where this fucked up episode starts. So we got that torture scene, fucks it up. Then Billy Drago's character is like, you're lying. There's something you're not telling me. Oh, because then after the torture, the disfigured prostitute comes over, cuts her down, and tries to like feed her and give her water and stuff and tries to be nice to her. And then because she untied her, then supposedly the nice prostitute hung herself because she couldn't stand like the torture and everything. And the whole time she was telling the other prostitutes that she was waiting for the love of her life, that he's American and that he's going to take her out of it and all this other stuff. So all the prostitutes fucking hated her. So then, you know, she supposedly hung herself because of the torture. Then Billy Drago's character is like, you're lying to me. You're not telling me something. There's something that's going on. There's more to this fucking story. She wouldn't hang herself just for that. Then it turns out that, which then it just gets fucking kooky crazy. Then the fucking disfigured prostitute starts telling him her own backstory about how her mom and her dad were super poor, and the dad used to beat the mom, and then at one point he beat the shit out of her, and then he got super drunk, so then he raped her, and then she gave birth to her, and she tried killing the baby, like she gave birth to the baby. And then there's a scene where she has the baby, she just finished giving birth, she walks out into this river and just dumps the baby in the river. That's it, just drops it, like plop, and then walks away. Like, what the fuck? And then they show this long scene of the baby going under the water, just flowing downstream. And then the baby ends up surviving. 2 days later, she's walking along the river. She sees the baby at the end of the river on shore crying. So she was like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to keep the baby and fucking raise it. And then she raised the baby. Then and then the daughter was helping the mom out because the mom was supposedly a midwife. And we went from there. Then it just gets even worse. Then we end up, and he starts telling her, nope, there's something else you're not telling me. Nope, there's something else you're not telling me. She was like, all right, I'll tell you the real story. Then that's when this shit gets fucking cuckoo. Not the mom wasn't a midwife. The mom performed backdoor abortions. And all she did was she did the abortion. And there's a graphic fucking scene in it where she's fucking sticking her fucking arm in this fucking lady's vagina, and she pulls out the fucking baby, and they show it. Pulls out the baby, then she sticks it in a bucket, and then she tells her daughter, go dump it in the fucking river. And then they dump the baby in the river, and all you see is fucking just babies just going down the river, aborted fetuses just going down the river. And I'm like, what the fuck? And then we find out that the dad and the mom are fucking brother and sister.
That's disgusting.
They're brother and sister. And then there's a scene where the dad fucks the mom up and kicks her out of the house. And then this was when the girl was maybe like 10 or 11 years old or something. Then he gives the fucking daughter a look. And then they don't show it, but then it's insinuated that he ends up raping the daughter. So the kid that he had with his sister, he ends up raping. And then the disfigured, who ends up being the disfigured prostitute. Then the disfigured prostitute, right after the rape, the little girl they show, he goes out to fucking take a piss in the marsh out there. And then she beats his ass and fucking just kills him with this like big hammer thing and fucks him up. And then it gets even, like, that isn't bad enough. Then the fucking story just takes another turn. And you find out that the reason that she's disfigured and the reason that her face is fucking is pulled up to the side like that is because she's a fucking conjoined twin. A fucking hand sticks out of her fucking, like when she gets like excited or whatever, she's like a hand sticks out of the fucking side of her fucking head.
Yeah, I seen that.
With fucking eyes and a mouth. And it's like, nya, 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 and it starts fucking talking and shit. And it turns out that at the end of the day, what happened was that the conjoined twin wanted the fucking ring, the jade ring that the madam had, and was like, steal the ring. I want the ring. Take the ring. I want the ring. So she ends up taking the ring. She gives it to the fucking conjoined twin. The conjoined twin swallows it because they wanted the ring so badly. And then she gets caught by another prostitute taking the ring. So she was like, oh, so then she ends up framing the good prostitute for it. And then the good prostitute ends up getting fucking tortured. And then she hangs herself and all that because, oh no, she doesn't hang herself. The fucking disfigured chick ends up killing her and strangling her after she gets tortured and then ends up hanging her. And then she tells everybody else that she committed suicide. So this fucking conjoined twin is the whole reason that all this shit happened. And then it turns out that she's fucking super evil and just all, man. This episode was fucked up. And it was, like I said, as soon as they got the ball rolling with the torture scene, this thing went off the rails. Like, even I was like, oh shit. And I remember at one point, I don't know what part you looked at that you stopped watching. Well, I looked at it, I was like, babe, watch. And you were like, no. Yeah. And you put your head right down and you were like in your phone, just watching whatever the hell you were watching on your phone. But holy shit, man. Like, I understand why Showtime decided to ban this and not release it, because that was That was intense. Now, with that being said, I kind of don't mind fucked up shit like that. Like I've said it before on the show, where I don't get scared. I don't get scared with horror movies. I don't, you know, I don't have that fear and that reaction, which is why I had you on last week, because that's the thing, you know, that's one of the things that I envy. I envy people that actually watch horror movies and get scared. So with me, the more fucked up, the better. Because it needs to elicit some sort of reaction out of me, whether it's absolute disgust, whether it's anger, whether it's what. If it elicits one of those fucking reactions from me, then I'm like, all right, it did its job. And this fucking episode more than did its job. Like, I don't know if I ever want to watch it again, but it was pretty fucked up. So that was it. That was the banned episode of Masters of Horror. It was Takashi Miike's imprint. If you get a chance, if you have a strong stomach, watch it. I mean, I pretty much ruined the whole thing and spoiled the whole thing, but even so, it is so fucked up. I can't even explain it. Like it just kept taking more fucked up turns. But yeah, that was just, I could see why it was banned.
Yeah. Even the explanation of the movie the episode doesn't do the episode justice. From what I watch, it's pretty graphic.
Yeah. It was insane. It was pretty nuts. So what do we got in terms for you, like in terms of movie?
No, how about you give your movie?
My movie?
Your one movie, yeah.
Well, I don't know, man, because my one movie is actually pretty much in the same vein as Imprint.
Is it?
Yeah.
What is it?
A Serbian film.
Oh, yeah. It was going to be like a mention for me because I'm sure everyone has heard a Serbian film. I don't know how many people have watched it. I know everyone at least has heard the name of the film once. So
yes,
you watched it, all of it.
What, a Serbian film?
Yeah,
I've watched it a few times.
A few times.
The
fuck is wrong with you? A few times.
The movie's fucked up. It's that. Fucked
I know.
Ugh.
Oh,
I know.
Who am I with?
Now I get. Now again, it's not. I don't want people to think that it's you know that I condone any of this shit or that I'm for any of this shit. I don't, not at all. But again, it's something that elicited a visceral reaction out of me. And it's like a what the fuck type reaction. Which
how could it not?
I'm all for. All for. You know, some people get this sort of reaction like watching A Clockwork Orange.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, something like that. That's not, to me, that's tame in comparison to stuff like this.
Yeah.
You know, and, you know, A Clockwork Orange is one of my favorite movies. But yeah, with a Serbian film, it's just, you know, most people that are out there that are in know about this movie and have heard about this movie if they haven't already seen it. But this movie has been out there. I remember when I first heard about this movie, and I search out fucked up movies.
I know you do,
because I want to watch. You know, I want to see them. Like there's a couple that I haven't seen yet that are on my that's on my list to watch. There's one called Salo, 120 Days in Sodom or some shit like that. I heard that's pretty fucked up.
Was on. I read about that one. It was on when I was doing research. I read about it.
There's another movie called Necromantic.
Yes.
That I've read about. That I'm looking for. Well, did you watch it?
No.
Oh,
no.
Okay.
I did a mix of movies that I have watched, movies that I've heard of, and then a movie that I've never heard of, which was that Necromantic.
Which is Necromantic?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, there's there's a whole slew of fucking movies, you know, out there, like and then there's like Cannibal Holocaust and shit like that. You know, even at one point in time, The Exorcist was also banned. That was banned in the UK.
Yes, it was.
But again, I think those movies are tame in comparison to the shit like Imprint and to like a Serbian film like that. These movies or this movie and this episode just took shit to like a vastly inappropriate level.
Yeah.
Like it pushed boundaries. It broke boundaries in terms of it. You know, for people, I'm going to give a quick synopsis with a Serbian film. It's just,
how do you give a quick synopsis to that movie?
I'm not going to get too into it, but I mean, basically it's a porn star. It's all in Serbia. It's Serbia. It's all in Serbian. The movie's subtitled. It's basically I don't know if this guy is a current porn star, if he's a retired porn star, but he's a porn star, and he ends up getting offered a gig to do this project with this company, and basically he was getting offered more money than he's ever seen in his life to do this project, and he was told that he was going to get a call, and once he gets that call, he has to follow everything, every direction to the letter, and then it just goes fucking cuckoo, fucking crazy from there. Did you watch the movie with me or no?
No, I wouldn't watch that movie.
Well, it's a fucked up movie.
I know.
And, I mean, there's all sorts of shit in this movie that
I
is
know.
fucked up.
I know.
You know, he bangs a fucking prostitute in the ass while he's high on some shit.
Yep.
He ends up chopping her head off while he's fucking her. And like, it just turns, it goes into all sorts of stuff. You know, there's a scene that fucking totally fucked me up, where I only watched it one time and I can't watch it anymore, where there is a scene where there was a chick giving birth to a baby. Oh. She ends up giving birth to the baby, and then the person, the guy that's there that delivers a baby, and then he fucks the baby. Like that was fucked up.
Yep.
Very fucked up. But you know, that's just part of it. And then like the end part of the movie where he like retaliates and just all this shit, like he ends up taking, like, supposedly the guy has like a huge dick too. So he ends up shooting some guy in the eye, or he ends up taking his eye out. And then he ends up, the way he kills the guy is he sticks his dick in the guy's eye hole and he kills him that way, and he impales him with his dick. And like, it was fucked up. And then the ending itself is totally fucked up. This movie is beyond fucked up. And I can see why this movie is like an underground type movie, and it's definitely not for everybody. This is one of those movies that is just like, unless it takes a special kind of fucked up person to enjoy this movie. I don't enjoy the movie. So let me be clear. I don't enjoy the movie, but I appreciate the reaction that the movie gives me. I appreciate where I'm like, what the fuck? Like, it makes me mad. It makes me fucking angry. It makes me like, like, what the fuck? Like, it disgusts me, like shit like that. But, I think I've seen the movie maybe 3 times.
Ugh.
Maybe 3 times in like the last...
Came out in 2010.
11 years. So, yeah. So 2010 it came out?
Yes, it did.
Okay. So maybe like the last 9 years. Because honestly, I read about the movie. I searched the movie out. I couldn't find it. But if you remember, our mutual friend, Mike Frank, big into movies.
You guys would trade movies.
Him and I would compare fucking fucked up movies, and would recommend fucked up movies to each other. And at one point, I remember I was like, listen, this is the movie that I heard about and I read about. I heard it's one of the most fucked up movies ever. You need to find this movie. And this was back when, you know, BitTorrents were all the rage, and LimeWire and Kazaa and all that other shit. And he ended up finding the movie for me, burned it on the disc. And I remember when I saw it, I was like, what in the fuck? He even said it. I don't know what the fuck you found. He goes, this movie was bullshit. Here you go. He goes, I'm never watching that again. Ugh. And I get it. And it's fucked up. But again, that's why I understand. I understand why it was banned. Yeah. It's just like comparable to anything else out there that's been banned or fucked up. That's the reason I only picked one TV show episode and one movie, because I don't think there's anything else worse out there than those 2 piees of quote unquote entertainment that are out there.
That was rough.
Yeah.
That was rough.
All right. Well, what do you got?
I don't know which one to talk about. You probably touch upon all of them for me. The one that I really want to watch, I think it's on Amazon Prime, is The Cannibal Holocaust. Yeah. 1980, directed by Ruggero Deodato.
Yes.
Apparently it's I'm sure you knew this, but it's one of the first found footage movies. And apparently, I didn't know this until I did my research, but the director was arrested on suspicion of murder. Yep. Apparently, they did kill some animals on screen to kind of sell the realness, of having the humans killed. But apparently, the actors also had a provision in their contract that kept them from appearing on TV shows ads and
Oh no
any
shit.
other movies. Yeah, so
Kind
that's
of like Blair Witch, like they did with the Blair Witch Project.
yeah, so that kind of didn't help the director in you know, in his little movie making journey, because all the people that appeared in the movie weren't seen. So when they actually arrested him, he was forced to bring in the actors to be like, hey, I swear to God, I did not kill anyone. They're all alive and well, and they're all here. And the movie was banned in Italy, Australia, Norway, Finland, New Zealand, and the UK apparently allowed a censored version of the movie to be released, which I don't know if the censory kind of cut out the little tortured tortoise, but
Nope.
I don't know. I want to watch it. I know that the one that Eli Roth did a few years ago, he
Green
used
Inferno.
Yeah, he used Cannibal Holocaust as an
His
inspiration.
Yeah.
Which I didn't think Green Inferno was terrible. I thought it would have been something that I wouldn't have been able to stomach, especially considering that was one of the only movies in the time that we've been together that has had one of the Red Band trailers, and then it was set for release and then actually pulled from release.
Yep.
And then actually put back on the market.
Yep.
And we eventually saw it in theaters. But seeing that I could have stomached Eli Roth's Green Inferno, I didn't know how bad Cannibal Holocaust would be compared to that. But I don't mind found footage film, so I'd like to give it a go.
Well, Green Inferno is pretty tame compared to Cannibal Holocaust.
Oh, it is.
I mean, it has some. Green Inferno. You could tell that Green Inferno was a movie.
Yeah.
Cannibal Holocaust feels like.
Oh, like
feels
you're
like
actually
a
watching
documentary.
it. Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I mean,
Cannibal Holocaust feels like it's a documentary. I think now you appreciate Green Inferno more because you think Eli Roth is hot.
Hey, Eli, he is a cutie.
But yeah, with Cannibal Holocaust, I mean, it took a while for me to actually find the movie and
really?
watch it. Yeah, I only watched it maybe for the first time, maybe like 7 years ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe it was before you and I got together.
So,
is when I watched it.
I thought you might have watched it way before. It said the movie was released in 1980.
Yeah, no. It's been released and it's been regarded as a pretty fucked up movie. Like there's just scenes like everything like looks like really realistic. Like there's and I could see why the authorities thought that the director actually killed these people, because there's a scene where they take one of the people and the tribe ends up taking like this big post and they stick the post up the person's ass.
What the fuck?
And then they post the post up, and then
they fucking impaled him.
And then they impale him, and then gravity is what works
down.
in impaling him. And then you see how the thing just goes up. The post just goes up their insides.
That's
and then
fucking
eventually
terrible.
comes out their mouth.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
Apparently, when he was arrested, he brought in pictures too from like the production.
Yeah.
To show them that it was all special effects and stuff like that.
Yeah. It looks super realistic. It is a pretty fucked up movie.
Oh, I don't know.
When you watch it, I think I want to watch it too, because
okay.
I haven't seen it in a really long time.
Well, maybe we'll watch it together, because if it is as bad as you say it is, I don't know. Getting impaled in your ass?
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. And then the scene that the scene with the graphic and the media ended up like embellishing a little bit.
Okay.
Because there was like real scenes of murder and shit, and basically what it is. And again, okay, I get it. Animal activists and all that other stuff, they're gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
But yeah, the big scene is they take a fucking tortoise and they just rip it apart and they actually kill it on screen.
Oh, that's sad.
And disembowel it and all that other shit. So yeah, I mean, it seems, and I think I might be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's Cannibal Holocaust or if it's Green Inferno.
Mm-hmm.
They use an actual real tribe.
I think it was Green Inferno that used the real tribe,
like an actual real tribe that didn't know, like one of those that aren't modernized, don't know about anything that's going on in the real world and whatever, like an actual real tribe, and didn't know what the fuck was going on. Like half the time they were given directions to do stuff and they didn't know what they were doing, but they did it anyways. And they made it seem like they were like, cannibals.
Said that Roth decided to cast the Yaku. What is that? How would you say that?
Where is it?
Right here. Right next to tribe.
Right next to tribe.
Right next to the word tribe.
Oh.
It says the name.
Kalaneaku.
Apparently they're a tribe from Peru, and they serve as the main stars.
Yeah. Yeah. My favorite part of that movie is when when they put the weed in the fire. And,
Yeah.
and they
They
got
all
like
get
the
high.
tribe gets super high.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, all right, now we can escape. And then all of a sudden they go to eat him. They're like, oh shit, they've got the munchies.
Yeah.
And they fucking eat him alive.
It was pretty funny. Yeah,
That
it
was.
said that everyone except the American crew are people that he actually found in the Amazon.
Okay.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, some of the acting, it was fucking horrible in that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it is what it is. I liked it. I liked the movie. I thought it was pretty cool. They kind of set it up for a sequel, but a sequel never materialized.
No,
Yeah.
it wasn't going to be like his Hostel and Hostel 2.
Yeah. Well, that's good. Well, all right. Well, that's actually all the time we got. I know you have 50,000 other notes and stuff, but it looks like we're going to have to
Now I know for
leave
next
that
time.
for another episode. You know, we're at a time crunch. I mean, this is already about an hour and a half, and hopefully people will listen to the whole episode all the way through from beginning to end.
Fingers crossed.
Yes. So guys, thank you for listening. I'm glad that you guys, we got a chance to have Kat back on.
Woo.
Peter, she's on the show again.
Hi, Peter.
And let us know also. I mean, what movies do you think that we should talk about in terms of band? Because this is going to be another. We're gonna do another episode on this.
I have way too much research, guys.
She has a ton of research. It's ridiculous how much she has in her notes. But yeah, let us know what band if there's any band movies that you enjoy, any bands movies that you heard of that we haven't mentioned yet. Anything. Drop us a line at terrortriopodcast@gmail.com. Also, we're on the social media. You can drop us a line on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We're also on the YouTube under the Beefmaster Network channel. Let us know what's up. And that's all I got.
That's it.
Once again, thank you for being on the show.
Thanks for having me, babe.
Aww.
Aw.
All right. For the Terror Trio, I am Eugene, followed by
Kat.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening.
Bye.